Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator 19. I'm Andy and this is Let's Play on Buy a Real Farm. So, as you can tell from my little... Well, the first thing we're going to look at here is I bought something called a bulk carrier, which is basically a small overloader, you can tell. It was quite expensive, but we needed that for harvest, I realized, so that's one thing. Another thing you can see is that I actually calculated that I worked some... because was fast forwarding so much in the year, I realized I could actually get a job. So I got a job as a child protection officer, which is what I work in Sweden with. And this is the pay you get for working at 80%. The mean average pay in Minnesota minus tax, get this sum, and I added that to this one. So this is the amount I made during the year, we say. And I would be farming part-time year one. So this will be our income so far, because I realized that I'm not going to be able to sell our crop this year because it would be quite a lot less money in. So I needed 2 jobs for the first year at least, which would bring us to this sort of income. This is the one we need, so we're gonna go backwards the first year quite a lot, but 24 grand I guess, or rather we might not be able to put aside as much for our retirement plan as we wanted the first year. So we'll see where we end up financially. So we'll have to sell off the crop year 2, which I should have known. But then it comes to how do you store the crop for that year? Do you hire someone to pay someone to store it at the co-op, or what do you do? So what I did is I looked into a bagging system, and switch over to the game. See it? It's over there. So I'm hiring someone to do this. So we'll get a bag with our crop on our farm, and then we'll sell it sometime in the early parts of, well, in the spring, early spring, well, late spring maybe, next year, which will yield us much more money. Because if you look at the graph for soybeans, actually summer seems to be the best part to sell it, price-wise, and that's quite a lot of difference between this point and this point. Is like double the price, so we're gonna wait as far as we can next year to sell it. It's not a perfect way to store it, but it's one way of storing it. So the link to this is in the description. It's kind of cool thing. So I'm sort of paying someone to do this. That's why I have a second I don't have a second tractor, so I needed someone with a second tractor. So we're pretending we're buying this service from a neighbor, and we are paying for it, so don't worry. Using Hide Worker to do my little harvesting here. About 51.7 bushel per acre. I actually looked it up. The average is about 47, 48, 49, depending on the year. So this is probably a good harvest. Which would mean we have pretty good land and pretty good land management to get this sort of bushels per acre. Well, that's good, I guess. And it's been averaging this way for this part at least. See how it does on that part. And see how the crop rotation will impact that. So we have soybeans fallow. So this will be maybe soybeans, and then we'll have this fallow, and this will be something else. We probably need another field actually. but we'll look into that after, maybe towards the third year. We'll see if we can get another field. Second year we'll probably do this again. So, but I want to show you how to fill up the bags too. So need to get that a little bit also. We'll do that before we start the next field. So I think we're like 670 bushels in the bag so far. We'll see where we end up with them, what amount we end up with. We'll have quite a bit. So if we were to sell 670, we would like get $5,000 today, which is not a lot. So well, it doesn't cover the expenses. But we have that field left, so we'll get twice 10 something. So if we can sell it later in the year or next year at almost double the price, there would be 20, 18, 17 grand or something. It would be a lot better. Just go and empty this, empty the combine, I mean. I want to go show you how to empty it. It's fun. I had some issues with it because it didn't really empty because, well, if you can, I'm going to show you, but you can switch between the bag and the bag filler, and both of those have to be, you have to extend the, it says extend arm. You have to do that on both, otherwise it doesn't fill the bag, otherwise it just fills the other part. So I just hide worker and I hide someone to do the combining to have a more efficient setup. So that's full 212.9 bushels of corn. Sorry, soybean. So that was this was quite an expensive buy actually for the farm, but it makes this possible. Otherwise we have to have an auger, which would still quite an expensive buy. So this is probably a better way to do it. Also did find a better model for gravity wagon. So it fills it here, and I'm gonna go into the tractor over there and see. So it'll see, it will see it expanding. It's actually moving. In real life, this would be moving. This would be stand still, but you can't mimic that in the game, I guess. So I figured this was a way to store it at a farm, which would be a lot cheaper than buying a bin, building a bin. Building a bin we could have done, but it would set us back quite a lot of money. We don't have a lot of, we only have this field, so I don't think it's worth it. So I want to show you first the gravity wagon we bought. So this is the one. I changed it for this one instead, which I think was a better model. Looks cool. Pain to back up into the shed though, but it holds quite a lot of grain, so we can go sell that when we have a better price. Get in here. You see here, you have, it says 883. If you do press O, so pipe in. I have to have these both set. This one, maybe mostly this one. So if I press pipe in, it will start filling up this filler instead of the bag. So you need to have the bag, the pipe out, and then you can hear it will actually go into. Start loading. You can hear the difference in the sound there. So $883 if I were to sell that at the current price, which is $8.41 per bushel. So 883 times 8.41. That would bring me $7,426 for what I've harvested. So if I can increase that by saving it, even though this bag costs about $550, and I needed to rent this other equipment, it would still be quite a lot. It would be a good investment to save this and sell it later at a higher price. Rather than sell it now. Let's see if I don't know, I'm guessing this won't turn around by itself. Still emptied it and still got 54 bushels in it. I've been harvesting for quite a few hours, 3 hours or so. It took me 3 hours to harvest this field because it's not a wide harvester. It's a small harvester by far, so it does take some time to do this. Otherwise it's working good. I had to go and service this, but it wasn't too expensive. But as I said, when I did the calculations, it was pretty simple or plain that I could not sustain my farm with just the farming. There's no way of doing that, at least not this year. I think you need quite a lot of more land to do that, and land is expensive. So we have to lease land or something, but I mean, if you look at, I'll switch back to my finances here. I mean, if you take away this money, which is what I would pay, this will be our family income for the year. It will be getting more next year, but it will be still minus for the low end version, where we don't put aside anything for retirement. There's no way getting even close to the retirement version of the finances. So if I want to retire, which most people do want to do retire, we definitely need a second job for now. We'll look at the income, but if you say you get like, say 20 is probably high. If we say you get, well, I guess more than 20. We'll say 20 just for sake. If you get an income on 20 from the farm, if you double the farmland, you'll get 40 maybe. But the expenditure, the installments for the farmland is 5, and we would have to pay a lot more. So if we had this twice, we would have what would be installment? This is the loans we have. If you had 3 times this, we would have 15. So most of the money from the farm would be eaten up by the loan. If you just like just on the top of my head, and it's a lot of money. And I think you have to go quite big if you were to actually make some money. And I think if you have the equipment, if you have a lot of equipment and you own a lot of land, then then that's okay. If you're not borrowed up your hills. But the problem is getting into it, as I talked on earlier episodes. How am I supposed to buy land when it's so expensive? How am I to get into farming when everything is so expensive? The amount of money you would need to spend to actually start farming is ridiculous. That's the hurdle. Not doing the farming and keeping the business side alive. If during the time you farm, if you have land and you have equipment, then that's okay, and then you could really change equipment and expand land ownership and that sort of stuff. But it's getting into it, that's the problem. As this one, and I guess the other Let's Play by Real Farm on the Swedish version also show that it's getting into the farming that's hard, even though there seems to be a little less money. If you look at the Swedish version, it seems that the land was a bit cheaper. But it's still quite expensive. I managed to empty this. That's why I'm going quiet. Trying to empty this on the go. It's not my best of my. So we are starting harvesting field number 2. That's good. So I think, as I said before, and as other people have mentioned, it's the getting into the farming part. It's probably possible to do this. If you do this a few years, if you have like a long-term plan, you have a job beside, 2 jobs. Mine not full-time, but if it's full-time, you'll earn money from that. That will go into your living expenditure and also the expenditure of the farm. And then if you use all the stuff you make from the farm and reinvest that into the farm. So say you buy still, I mean, the down payment for a field like this is still a lot more than you get out of this field. It will take like 10 years or so to make the money just for the down payment of another field. Maybe not 10 years, but it will take a while. Which is it's interesting. It's the farmland that makes it problematic. So I'm gonna stop recording there, and we'll see next time. We'll probably have done harvesting, and we'll do something else, like maybe planting cover crops, because that's my plan, to plant cover crops on this land during the off season. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Andy. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, leave a comment or share. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.